The stars glittered in the vast expanse of space, and the planet Earth spun slowly on its axis. For most of its history, Earth had been a peaceful world, a world unaware of the darker corners of the universe. The human race was still struggling, with its own problems, wars, poverty, and hunger, but they never imagined that an external force, one far more powerful than anything they had ever encountered, would be the one to change their fate forever. Far above the Earth, in the cold, black void of space, the Korath Armada was approaching. Their ships were massive, towering war vessels designed for one thing: conquest. The Korath, a race of cold, calculating conquerors, had already subjugated dozens of worlds, and their empire stretched across half the galaxy. They believed themselves to be invincible, their technology far beyond anything Earth could dream of. General Zorvax, the ruthless leader of the Korath forces, stood on the command deck of the flagship Emperor's Wrath. His sharp, alien features were etched with cold determination. He gazed down at Earth on the display screen, his mind already plotting how to crush the human resistance before it could even form. "It's only a matter of time before we have them under control," Zorvax said, his voice icy. "Prepare the invasion. We'll take this world by force." Around him, Korath officers and soldiers moved efficiently. The Korath were a military society, their entire civilization built around war and domination. They didn't waste time on mercy or negotiation. They simply conquered. And now Earth would become just another addition to their ever-growing empire. But what Zorvax did not know was that Earth, though weak and divided, had a secret, a strength that had been hidden for centuries. The humans of Earth had something the Korath had not anticipated: the ability to adapt, innovate, and survive. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, the humans had always found a way to fight back. The Earth Defense Forces' strike back it wasn't long before the Korath made their first move. Thousands of warships descended upon Earth, cutting through the planet's defense systems with ease. The Earth Defense Forces, a coalition of soldiers, scientists, and strategists from around the world, scrambled to respond, but they were no match for the alien invasion. In cities like New York, London, Tokyo, and Paris, the skies darkened as the massive Korath ships hovered above. For the first time in human history, Earth's governments were forced to come together as one. Leaders, once divided by national interests, now had to unite to face a threat unlike anything they had ever known. On the ground, human soldiers fought valiantly, but their weapons were ineffective against the advanced Korath technology. The aliens unleashed powerful energy weapons that incinerated buildings and turned the strongest human defenses to ash. The first wave of the invasion was swift and brutal. Thousands of lives were lost in the first few hours. In Washington, D.C., President Eleanor Hayes stood before a large screen, watching the devastation unfold. She was a woman of action, not one to panic, but even she could see the scale of the disaster. "Call in the reserves," she ordered, her voice steady but filled with urgency. "We need every able-bodied soldier in the field. If we don't fight now, we may never get another chance." In the Pentagon, General Marcus Reynolds, the leader of the U.S. military, was already making plans for a counteroffensive. But it was clear to him that Earth was losing. Their weapons, their strategies, they were all useless against the overwhelming power of the Korath. "This isn't just a battle for our survival," General Reynolds said grimly. "This is a fight for our future." A spark of hope. Dr. Elena Hargrove, in a small underground lab in a remote part of the world, a different kind of battle was brewing. Dr. Elena Hargrove, a brilliant scientist and engineer, had spent her life studying alien technology. She was one of the few people on Earth who understood that the human race needed to do more than just fight. They needed to innovate. When the Korath first attacked, Dr. Hargrove had been working on a project that no one had taken seriously: developing a way to reverse engineer alien technology. Most of her colleagues had dismissed the idea, but now, with the Korath on Earth's doorstep, her work was about to become humanity's last hope. In the dim light of her lab, Dr. Hargrove's hands flew over a workbench assembling a prototype weapon using parts of a Korath drone that had crashed in a remote area. She had carefully studied the ship's systems and understood how they worked. Using her knowledge of both human and alien technology, she was able to create a new kind of weapon, one that could fight back. "Elena, are you sure this will work?" her assistant, Tom, asked, his voice filled with doubt. "We don't have a choice," Elena replied. "The Korath think they can destroy us, but they don't understand what humanity is capable of. We may be small, but we can innovate. We can adapt. And this is just the beginning." Her eyes glinted with determination as she made the final adjustments to the weapon. She knew that it wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to lead humanity's charge against the Korath. They had no idea what was coming. The first battle, humans fight back. As the Korath forces advanced, human soldiers were beginning to show signs of resistance. General Reynolds, despite the overwhelming odds, had managed to rally a small group of elite fighters. They were outmatched, but they had something the Korath didn't: the will to fight. In the heart of New York City, a group of soldiers led by Captain Jack Rhodes made their stand. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they fought with everything they had, using the terrain and guerrilla tactics to their advantage. Captain Rhodes was known for his leadership under pressure, and he was determined not to let the city fall without a fight. "Stay together. Focus on the weak spots in their armor," Captain Rhodes shouted to his troops as they fired on the Korath invaders. The Korath soldiers, towering and heavily armored, were a terrifying sight. But the humans fought back with courage, using every resource they could find to defend their homes. It was during this battle that the humans got their first real taste of success. As the Korath troops advanced down the street, Captain Rhodes and his team managed to disable one of the alien war machines by planting explosives on its energy core. The Korath soldiers were stunned by the attack, and for the first time the humans had gained a small victory. Back in Elena's lab, the news spread quickly. The human resistance had struck back. "This is it," Elena said to Tom, a look of excitement in her eyes. "They're finally starting to realize what we're capable of." A new hope, the human spirit, unleashed in the days that followed. The human resistance grew stronger. Dr. Hargrove's team worked day and night, improving their technology, while military leaders like General Reynolds and Captain Rhodes coordinated strikes against the Korath forces. Though the Korath were still powerful, humanity had shown that it could stand up to them. The Korath, led by General Zorvax, began to realize that the humans were not as easy to conquer as they had assumed. They had underestimated the human spirit. The Korath had believed that they could break Earth's will with a few swift blows, but the humans had fought back with innovation, bravery, and a fierce determination to protect their world. The battle for Earth had only just begun, but one thing was clear: the humans would not go down without a fight.